Ronald Reagan was one of the great speech makers of all time, speech givers of all time. Do you remember the 9 words that Ronald Reagan said? 9 most terrifying words in English language. Do you remember?
I remember, but I don't remember. Go.
I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
Oh, I thought I was going to do the George Carlin.
No, that's a whole different thing. No, it's different. Ray Kaplan joins us. Ray Kaplan knows more about this FAFSA nightmare than any of us, and actually has some resources on how you can get some help. So, Ray, just so people understand, FAFSA is the mandatory federal application you have to fill out to process a student loan. And the government thought they'd shorten it up, make it easier, and the whole thing has been a gigantic failure. Is that all accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, Steve. They really did try to make it shorter and easier and actually give more access to more students for Pell Grants, but it really has been a disaster. And it's very frustrating for parents and for students right now because generally by May 1st, students are required to give a down payment for tuition for the school of their choice and enroll in the school. And right now, parents and students across the country have no idea where their kids are going to be going to school because they don't know how much they're getting in terms of financial aid. FAFSAs haven't been processed, and the FAFSA application is just very difficult to get through. There are a lot of glitches. Now, actually, the announcement from the Department of Ed recently is that the FAFSA are now being quickly and accurately processed. So a form submitted today will be processed and sent to the relevant colleges within 1 to 3 days. So I'm just hoping that the system doesn't get overloaded with people within the next couple of days logging on there, but we'll have to see. The guy at the Department of Ed who was responsible for all this, Richard Cordray, I actually feel kind of bad for him, is stepping down, actually.
Wow. Well, yeah, somebody has to take the hit.
And it is going to get overloaded because now everybody knows.
That's the thing. I think your fear is completely accurate because obviously people are backed up and they want to be first in line, and they're going to have to play catch up to get through that. But you know, the government can't lend you money if you don't know how much money to ask for. Is that the crux of this?
Well, right. So the information in FAFSA is supposed to help the Department of Ed together with the school apply a formula. And that formula really determines what amount the student is going to receive in terms of Pell Grants, work-study programs, and, of course, federal student loans. And so if that information is being miscalculated and glitchy and there are all kinds of errors, then they can't apply that formula, so they can't tell you what you qualify for. So right now, a student doesn't know if it makes sense for them to go to, say, Northwestern or Illinois State. And a lot of the problem is really going to come into play with the more expensive private schools because, excuse me, if you have a school like maybe Northwestern where tuition is $80,000 a year and you don't even know if you qualify for aid right now, then maybe Illinois, which is, you know, in the 30,000s, is looking a lot more attractive.
Well, the schools obviously know that this is going on, and the students have to say, yes, I'm going to choose you. I'm going to sign for this school. Well, then the schools push the deadline dates because of this, or no, because they have other people that aren't getting financial aid and they'll fill it up anyway?
Yeah, a lot of the schools are pushing back the deadline. There's actually a website that students can go to, which I'm pulling up right now. It's the National Association for College Admission Counseling. So if you just Google that site, their site will come up. So National Association for College Admission Counseling, and it has a section for Enrollment Deadlines Directory for 2024, and you can type in your school and find out whether or not they have extended the deadline. A lot of the more expensive private schools have not extended their deadlines, but will review and extend on a case-by-case basis. But a lot of the larger schools are extending the deadlines to June or July.
Well, you know, but I thought Jane just made a really interesting point. I don't know that the numbers work out this way, but what if you're trying to get financial aid and you got a kid that's not as qualified as you are, but the kid can pay cash? Mm-hmm. Does your slot get lost?
You know, that's a good question, and I'm really not sure what the answer is. I think right now the best thing for parents and students to do is to try to log in over these next few days, try and get the FAFSA application at least submitted, and find out if your school has extended the deadline. And if you need them to extend the deadline, call that school's financial aid office. And for the most part, I think that they will give you a week or two at least to see if your FAFSA at least gets properly submitted.
All right, so it's been a while since I've been in school, but I did my year.
Yeah.
And then
I'm like, wait a minute, Steve.
I took my leave of absence, but I could go back. But the point of that is, yeah, it's been a long time, but I don't remember the colleges being real patient and waiting to get paid.
Yeah,
if these loans can't get processed till November, that's 2 months into the fall semester or trimester. I don't even understand how that's going to work as a business.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. And I think a lot of people are going to wind up paying out of pocket. A lot more people are going to wind up paying out of pocket.
And people don't have money.
Right. And everything is more expensive right now. So it's really, really a bad crunch. We're obviously available for pre-college counseling sessions where we can help parents make decisions about whether or not they should take out private loans, whether or not they should take out a loan from their 401k, exactly what makes sense to do right now, at least until this is all straightened out, which I assume it will be very soon.
We hope so. I mean, it could just change the whole trajectory of someone's path because you could say, I want to transfer. I planned to do community college for 2 days now or 2 years now. I'm going to transfer, but these loans are all messed up, and now you're staying for the extra year. I mean, they better get it figured out.
Well, but also you've got schools that aren't going to be able to cash flow what they would normally cash flow if they don't have gigantic endowments they could, I suppose, tap as an emergency.
Mm-hmm. It affects all aspects of the university as well because they have to do housing and they have to do staffing.
I don't know, man. Yep. It's just not good.
Classes.
Absolutely. Although I will say most of the schools do have gigantic endowments, so don't feel too bad for the schools.
Well, you know what they say about endowments, size matters. So, Ray Kaplan, the best way for people to get a hold of you is what?
Sure. Give us a call, 312-294-8989, or check us out at financialrelief.com or raykaplan.com.
RAEKAPLAN.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks so much, guys.
See you later. Thanks. And by the way, that long federal government associated organization, the National Association for College Admission Counseling, is NACANet.org, NACANet.org. Again, NACANET.org. It'll tell you whether or not the college your family's interested in is, on a delay or not on a delay. I mean, I remember how stressful it was to apply for schools with your kids. Man, this is not helpful.
And the kids having to make the decision, and is their decision based on, they want to do one, but it's based on a loan? I mean.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
It's tough.